Change, laughter, and inspiration. Is this true? Sure, Mike. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Amanda.
Is this okay? Great. Hi, everyone. They put the really tough crowd in the front. I stood up here. They all all their smiles collapsed. Oh, not that, but she's smiling a lot. So, hello. My name is Amanda Holstrom, and I'm giving a 5-photo answer to what do designers contribute. And I've yet to ever give a presentation where I'm holding a mic and cards, so this should be adventure and interaction, shall we say. Okay, so I will start and then I will tell you when to go. So, oh, that's cool. So, ooh, this is Prezi. Are we excited? Okay, cool. So, Prezi is an alternative to giving PowerPoint presentations. It's short Prezi. You could think of that as presentation, but it could also be a present. So I spent a bit of extra time creating this instead of PowerPoint for you. We went a little far, so tonight I'm going to talk about what designers contribute. And in my opinion, we contribute, well, we sit at the center of where business requirements, technical constraints, market appeal, customer needs, and flexibility sit. So we'll look at different components of that tonight. And I'm going to use a story. So this is the first drawing of the Volkswagen Beetle. And it was done in 1938. And after this drawing, 21 million of these were produced. So someone very high up, drew this picture, said, I need a car that can house 2 adults, 3 children, go 100 kilometers an hour, and it has to cost the same as a small motorcycle. So there's your vision. Here's your business requirements, that everyone must be able to have a car. So we'll look at things. Next we move on to technical constraints. So you're given the job of designing the exterior of the car. Great, that's great. Now you're given the job of designing the individual internal components to this car. So not only does this car have to go 100 kilometers an hour, it has to heat the interior, it has to cool the engine, and there's one more thing I wanted to say. Oh, and you have to be able to produce 1 million a year. So we're talking design across all kinds of technical boundaries. So we're talking about the production line, actually making sure that all the logistics are handled, nodding, awesome, for between all the components that they're there on time. Pardon? For the next speaker who comes up, that way you know. So yeah, you could be the person designing concept cars and being given huge budgets to design one that won't be driven anywhere, or you could be given the job of designing one of these that's going to be made many, many, many times over. Oh, the Volkswagen Beetle is the most popular or the most sold car in the world at that 21 million mark. Outstripped the Ford Model T. Okay, so would you go next? Anyone who's in print media or advertising, do you recognize this ad? Anyone? Yeah? So, no, I'll talk. This is from Think Small. This is the Think Small series of ads that the Volkswagen did. They were, in 1999, voted as the best advertising campaign in the world. Takes a lot of strength to put your product in a magazine, a photo of your product, with the word lemon under it. And for those of you who can see very closely here, the very final line is, we pluck the lemons, you get the plums. And the description here is talking about how many checks these Volkswagen Beetles went through. So they're using this one little technique, one little bit of the Volkswagen production process to generate demand and desire in their audience. They're saying, we spend all this time making sure that none of our cars are lemons, that none of them get out with a scratch on the dashboard, which is the problem with this car, that they're always perfect when they arrive. And what this advertising strategy did was it changed people from consuming how car advertisements were done prior to this, is they were just hitting as much information as they could. They were putting these huge spreads, lots of information about the cars, all the features, And instead, the advertising group decided not to do that anymore, that they were going to create very focused ads, very direct ones, and try and keep their customers and use them as brand ambassadors. So in this way, we're seeing a shift from overload of information to very, very focused advertising. And that's the designers doing it. Okay, great. Would you go next? Thank you. So, what we have in the end, at the end of this, that sketch drawing, those business requirements that were given, that new marketing strategy that was used, and all that production work, and all those designs of those individual components, we have a happy guy. This guy, look at him. He's so happy. And design was critical at every step of the way. If that initial business requirement hadn't been right, he's not going to buy that car if it was some big American muscle car. If the production hadn't worked, if those individual components weren't there, it wouldn't have been successful because it would have been a technical failure. And third, if the marketing hadn't been attractive to him, he wouldn't have known about the car. He would have just been lost in a sea of all those other cars. Okay, so this to me is design mecca. So when I work on designs, my hope and dream is that at some point somebody will repurpose it, that it'll be used well outside of what it was intended for, because it's so amazing. This is this is a shot of an airplane with a Volkswagen Beetle engine in it. These are kits of airplanes that were created that could only use Volkswagen Beetle engines in them. And you can see this one in the Canadian Aviation Museum. It's called an Evans VP Volksplane. And it first flew in 1968, and I'm pretty sure you can get a kit today, so cool. So I had 2 quotes. Would you go? Yeah, so that's my 5 images. These are some references. If they post the presentation, you can click on these and make sure that that those people get credit for all those photos. While researching this, I had a blast. Beetles are like these cult cars. People do crazy things to them. So more Beetle modifications are there, and also more ads if you're interested in that advertising campaign. So I'm going to leave you with a quote. I have 2. One is from just some guy, and one is from someone important. We're going to take the one from just some guy. So there's a guy who maintains a blog. It's called beadesigngroup.com. And this is kind of why I volunteered to speak tonight, and also why, I hope you guys come and talk to me afterwards. So this is a quote from him, and it's on attending events like these. So my goal is to learn from the way you approach projects and apply that to my designs. I see that these events as a way to learn from someone who knows a whole heck of a lot more than I do. And the moment that I'm done learning from others, I'm done being a designer.
That was great. 3 very different presentations so far. We've had graphic design, communication,